Hi folks, this is a Prezi presentation on segment bisectors and angle bisectors. As you can see here, I got a cute little cartoon figures, and I don't know what they are, but it says, I'll meet you halfway. And we are 10 feet apart. And you have to locate the midpoint, because the midpoint is going to create equal parts. The equal parts is the 5 feet and the 5 feet. Here, we have a blue angle. I know that I'm going to add the arrows on here because angles keep on trucking. And here is a ray that's bisecting that angle. So we have a great big blue piece of pie. We want to share our pie to be even-steven on both sides. So each person will get the same amount of pie. You would have to locate the angle bisector, this ray, and therefore you have A degrees and A degrees. Same thing with a piece of licorice. You locate the midpoint, and on that midpoint, if that's where you're going to snap it or cut it, then you get a piece of licorice, and your friend gets the same amount of licorice. All right, now I had a problem here trying to get, there's the arrow, next one. Here we have a segment bisector, and on the segment bisector, we see segment AB bisects PQ at midpoint O. And so we do know that PO is equal to QO. And those tick marks show you. And so anything that goes to the midpoint then is considered the bisector. It doesn't have to go up and down. We can still do our karate chop this way, and we still get equal parts. We'll get the left part, P, O would be my piece of licorice, and QO could be your piece of licorice. And here is just showing you, we will learn in class how to use a compass to locate the midpoint. And so therefore, I call this the two-tailed fish, and that can be found probably on page 34 of your textbooks that we will discuss. And here we have already a segment here that is showing you -2, 5 and 7, 7. They have the equal parts. Well, how did they get the answer 2.5? They took the mean of the x components, which is -2 and 7, and they took -2 plus 7 and divided it by 2, and they came up with 5 halves. And for the y's, you can see they have 5 and 7, so y sub m should equal 5 plus 7 divided by 2 is 12 over 2. To simplify that, you can see this becomes 2.5, and this becomes 6. So that's how they got the 2.5, 6. Oops. Continuing on, we have the midpoint formula. And let's now look at it. X sub m, y sub m is your midpoint. We take the mean of the x's, so this is the mean, and this is the mean of the y values. And here we have ourselves, again, showing you the midpoint formula, tick marks to show you that congruent parts. Here again, the midpoint formula. They do show you that they put in 6 and 2 as one endpoint, 2 and 10 are the other endpoints. They write the mean formula for the x's, the mean formula for the y's. They substitute in and get the midpoint, which is halfway between these two endpoints, as 4, 6. Now is our chance to practice again. So we're going to take -2, x sub m then would be -2 plus 4 divided by 2, which is 2 over 2, or 1. To find the midpoint of the y's, we take 1 plus 3 divided by 2, which is 4 over 2, or 2. So the midpoint is 1, 2. And we can go up here and go 1, and we go up to here, and locate the midpoint and put our tick marks, and we have equal parts. Now we'll take a moment and erase all my little work here. And so we're given find an endpoint. So let's see if I can make this a little smaller. Here we are. We have an endpoint at 1, 3. And we have a midpoint right here. So that's our midpoint. And this is our endpoint. And we want to find the other endpoint. So it should probably be somewhere out here because we know that the midpoint is between the two endpoints, being collinear. So we're going to write, we know that x of m equals the mean of the x's. And now I can substitute in. I know the midpoint already is 4. For the x's is -4 equals. How did it get there? You use what we know is 1 plus the other endpoint, which I don't know, divided by 2. And again, you learn in algebra to get rid of the denominator 2, we multiply each side by 2. This will go to 1. And so we have -8 equals 1 plus x. And we then subtract 1 on both sides, and we get -9 equals x. Now for the y's, we do know the answer already for the y midpoint. Again, I'll rewrite it. It's the mean of the y values. We already know the midpoint is at 9. We do know that the one y endpoint is 3. So we know the midpoint of is 9. One endpoint is 3. We want to find the other endpoint divided by 2. So again, to get rid of the 2, you multiply each side by 2, and you get 18 equals 3 plus y, or y equals, by subtracting 3 on both sides, 15. So the other endpoint is at -9, 15, way up here. So either you know the two endpoints and you find the midpoint, or you know the midpoint and one endpoint, and you have to follow the other. Okay, getting that a little quicker there. Let's go on to the next one. I think I have some videos here for you to watch. And so you have to go back on my Prezi presentations because you can, in a video, watch a video within a video. So if you go back to my Prezi presentation and just pick the Prezi, you can watch either video on bisection. This one gives an assignment. That's not me, so please ignore the assignment. And then you can watch a video on how to construct using your compass and straight edge on finding the segment bisector and the angle bisector. Let's see if I can go on. I think that's it. Oh, here's our angle bisectors. And so we will have a two-step process that's found in our book, in our textbook. I think it might be on page 36, on how to bisect, cut in half an angle. And we're looking at an angle bisector. One thing we do know about an angle bisector is if we're told that the ray BD was an angle bisector, if one half is 65, by golly, the other half is 65. And therefore, the total angle then, right here, the measure of angle CBA then is 65 plus 65, or 130 degrees. Short way there, you know. Oops. I want to, let's see, go back. All right, and again, I think I show you here that, again, this is the big angle. This is angle 60 degrees. And when you bisect it with ray OA, that's the bisector. Ray OA is called the bisector of angle, of this great big angle here. It doesn't give me any letters, so of that great big angle. So when you credit shop this, you get 30 and 30. And again, this is the video that I was talking about earlier, that if you want to watch the video for finding the midpoint, again, another good video, finding the midpoint, but ignore the assignment. And lastly, another good video for how to bisect an angle. And so when I press that, it doesn't work there. So you have to go back to just the Prezi without me talking and go back and you can watch those. I hope this helps. Again, this is on bisecting segments and angles.